Hello, critters! Happy Sunday! I'm so glad that I could be with you today, and I'm glad you're here too. So today we are going to be talking about a very important subject. It is kindness. What do you know about kindness? We talk about it in our blessing, right? Yeah. So to be kind is to be nice to people that are around you, not just your family or your friends, being kind to everybody, being nice to everybody, caring and helping. You know, Jesus gave us a great example of what it is to be kind. He was kind to everybody, all kinds of people, even the people that a lot of the church people and the leaders in the church didn't think were very important. He let us know that everybody is important, right? And so we should treat everybody with kindness. And who is going to teach us about kindness today is a man named Abraham. And so Abraham came after Noah. We are going to be talking about a story in the Old Testament, in the book of Genesis, the very first book in the Bible. So after Noah, there was a man named Abraham. Okay, so we're going to learn a little bit about him, but before we do that, we have an activity at the end of the day. So in the chat, I want to go ahead and put the link to the activity, so that way if you're watching live, your parents can go ahead and print that document out. All right, so it is in the chat, parents. There is the activity link, and also it will be in the description of this video, but I won't be able to add it until after the video is over. Okay, so just be looking out for that. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and talk about Abraham. Give me just a minute. Let me share my screen here. There we go. Okay, so we're going to talk about Abraham being kind. So let's learn a little bit about him. So Abraham was rich. He and his family and his workers lived in tents, and he had many, many tents. And Abraham also had many animals. He had camels and cows and goats and sheep. You know, we think about rich people now, we think about people with a lot of money, maybe really nice cars or a really nice house. But in Bible times, if you were rich, it means lots of tents and lots of animals. So that's how we knew that Abraham was rich. So Abraham had a nephew, or a sobrino, if you don't know the word nephew. His nephew's name was Lot. Can you say that with me? Lot, like I love you a lot, Lot. Do you have an aunt or an uncle, or tío or tía? Do you have a favorite tío or tía? I do too. I'm going to tell you a secret. Did you know that Pastor Portillo and Pastor Nelly are my tío and tía? Yes, it's true. I am their niece. I'm their sobrina. Is that weird? It's not. So we're family. Isn't that cool? So just like Lot and Abraham were family, me and Pastor Portillo and Pastor Nelly, we're family too. So Lot was a grown man. Just like me, I'm a grown lady, right? So Lot was a grown man, and he had a family, and he was rich too. He had cows and sheep just like Abraham. So one day, Abraham decided it was time for him to move. Has your family ever moved? Even just houses? Sometimes it can be a big event, right? It takes a long time to pack all our stuff. So what did you start packing first? Toys? I would start with toys too. Abraham and his family, they packed all their clothes and their tents, and they started the move. But guess who moved with Abraham and his family? Yes, Lot and his family moved also. So this move, it took a long time. It was a long, long trip. Maybe they walked a lot of the time, and maybe they rode on camels or donkeys, but finally, Abraham and Lot arrived at their new home. Whew! They must have been really tired after a long, long trip. So they all stopped and they set up their tents. They were home at last. Uh-oh, this doesn't look good. Not much time had passed when Lot and Abraham had a big problem. Abraham and Lot had a lot of animals, right? Well, all the animals needed grass to eat, but there wasn't enough grass for all of them. And the men who took care of Lot's animals and the men who took care of Abraham's animals, well, they started to argue and fight about the grass. So God had promised Abraham the land to Abraham and his descendants, or his kids and the generations that came after him. So Abraham, he could have said, this is my land. My animals eat first. Lot, your animals can eat when my animals are done. But do you think that that's what Abraham did? No. Abraham was kind to his nephew Lot. He said, we can't let our helpers keep arguing. We're family. This is what we'll do. You choose the land where you want to live, and we'll separate. If you want to live over there, I'll stay here. If you want to live here, I'll move somewhere else. Wow, that's really nice of Abraham, right? Well, Lot looked all around and he could see land that had tall green grass and nice cool water. I like that land, he said. He and all his helpers and animals moved to that new land. Abraham stayed where he was, and God said to him, look as far as you can see in every direction. I am giving you this land. I am giving it to you and your children and their children. Then Abraham built an altar to worship God. Wow, Abraham was super kind. Let me stop sharing my screen here. Give me just a minute. All right. So Abraham was so kind to Lot, and God blessed him. We can be kind also. We are all blessed with something, and we can share what we have. Maybe our toys or a favorite snack, maybe our money, even joy. We can share our joy with a smile. So there are lots of ways to be kind, but it's not always easy, right? I know sometimes it can be hard to share with your little brothers or little sisters. Or maybe you're the little brother or little sister and you wish that your older brother and older sister would share with you. It's not always easy, but God has called us to be kind, just like Abraham, just like Jesus, and lots of other characters in the Bible that show us how to live. All right, are you ready for our memory verse? Okay, let me show it to you here. So it is found in the book of Ephesians. Can you say Ephesians? Ephesians, that's kind of a big word, right? So it's in Ephesians chapter 4, verse 32, and it says, be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other. So these are instructions for us. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other. But there is a big word in there. Can you spot it? It starts with a C. Compassionate. What do you think compassionate means? That's a good guess. So compassionate means that's when you see that someone needs help and you want to help them. Have you ever felt compassionate? Have you ever seen that somebody needed help and you wanted to do something about it? You wanted to help them? Then you were compassionate. So the Bible tells us, be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other. So how can we make this verse stick in our minds and in our hearts? Why don't we try some hand motions? Okay, so I'm going to leave it so that way you can see it first. So I'm going to be kind of small on the screen, but see if you can follow along. So for the word kind, we're going to put our hands on our hearts. And we're going to say, be kind. And then and compassionate, when you say compassionate, I want you to put your hands out like this, helping hands. So when you see someone that needs help and you want to help them, that is being compassionate. And then when we say to one another, we're going to point our fingers like this. You, me, you, me, you, me. So that is to one another. Then when we say the word forgiving, I want you to wipe your arms and hands just like this. Forgiving. We use this motion a lot in songs that we do at Kids Life and Critters. The reason why we do that is because this is wiping away. This is what God does when he forgives us of our sins, and we should do the same when we forgive each other. So we're wiping it away, forgiving, and then for each other, we're going to do the pointing fingers again. You and me, you and me, you and me. Okay, so now I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Hopefully you can remember that, and we'll try to say it together. Are you ready? Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other. Nice. Let's try it again. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other. One more time, okay? Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other. Nice job, guys. Okay, so next I have a super awesome activity page for you, what I talked to you about. So the activity page, it has a word search and it has a picture of Abraham and Lot. They're hugging before they separate. And at the bottom of the page is your memory verse. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other. Ephesians 4:32. Awesome. Well, I am so glad that you could be with me today. Can I say a blessing over you? It's like a special prayer. Hold out your hands like you're about to get a big present. Are you ready? May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord smile down on you and show you his kindness. May the Lord answer your prayers and give you peace. We'll see you next time. Bye.